Hi Christian, so basically just copied your design as quickly as possible with a view to getting the metalwork components finalised. The exact length of the shelves and the position of the metalwork doesn't matter. As long as we've got the parts ordered, we can stretch this, pull this about until we need to order the bespoke boards. That's a reasonably accurate model of the IKEA part you'll see on the 2D drawing. The measures are there, and I think that's more or less it. There's not a lot to say about it really. I have suggested that you go for the 1 metre approx hangers there. I've also suggested you go for the top track mounting system. It is so much easier to install and you will get a much better result with that top track hanging system. And all of the ones of these that I've done, people say, oh, I don't want to be able to see it, it won't look nice. If you position it exactly behind the first shelf, you just won't see it. And with the track covers on, which is, let me show you, it's a plastic cover that sits over the metalwork. It's just going to look great. It's just going to look like a professional installation. The other thing that I've done in the past is if you wanted to cut these tails off, you could do that. It requires nice clean cuts and a little bit of fettling and filing. At a push I could do that for you, but it's just going to be much easier to post you the metalwork as it arrives with me, shipped from my supplier. Same with it, if you wanted to get the 15s and cut them down to something like there to give you a little bit more flexibility, that's possible. What you need to look at on the 2D drawing is what is the distance between the underside of that and the top side of that, because that is what you and what's on the 2D drawings doesn't account for the distribution of these slots. It's approximate. So if you're storing books in here and from the dimensions it looks like it's going to be a very tight fit, then you should really consider getting the longer spurs and cutting them down. Because this vertical distribution here, as you can see, I'm on the outer limits of the 1 metre hang standards there and there. The other thing to note is exactly where this falls. I think that is about 1800 millimetres from there to there on the IKEA. Well, I can check that, hang on a sec. Assembly. Evaluate, measure. Yeah, it's about 1800. So whether you want the end of this shelf to line up exactly with the end of that unit, or you want the centre line of this vertical to line up with that unit, these are all fine tweaks that we can do once we've ordered the metalwork, but before we order the boards. So you can see I've got my typical 70mm overhang there. That one, because it's a split shelf, settles in the middle, and I've got another 70mm overhang here and a 70mm overhang here. That's just the dimension I like to use for that overhang. I think that's about it really. I think this is sufficient to order components, unless you want to change those 5 to 1.5 metre verticals, and I don't see any point making those longer. So let me know on that specific issue, and then we can get your parts on my import order, which I am doing very soon. Take care, bye bye.